but most people say Kojic. And I played piano and organ growing up from the time I was 9 all the way up until I was in my teenage years. I loved what was on the radio, whether it be Motown, whether it be rock, whether it be jazz, whether it be uh, R&B and electronic music. And I was influenced by many different people along the way. And of course, at a very young age of what I would say anyway, 18, 16, 17 years old, my brother, who's 3 years older than me, Donald Hepburn, also an original Pleasure member, had a band called the Soul Masters. I just wanted to be a part of his band so much, and he played keyboards too. But when we heard Nathaniel Phillips, Marlon McClain, and Bruce Carter, who had their own power funk rock soul trio called the Franchise, we thought we had just died and went to heaven, because they were a phenomenal rhythm section, and they played everything. Jimi Hendrix, Buddy Miles. I mean, they played it all. And we just thought, oh, my God, if we could get those guys and join up with them to form a group, we would be really, truly a phenom type of ensemble, because we'd be able to play everything, jazz, soul, rock, funk, etc. And so we talked to them and asked them, and they loved us. We were older than they were, so they kind of thought, yeah, these guys can be some teachers, some professors for us as well. And we merged together, and I came up with the name Pleasure. They liked it. Everybody liked it. As Nate said, it was kind of a democratic decision, and that's how we formed. I'm going to let Nate talk about how he came up.
All right. Thank you for that information. Wow.
Yeah, I'll try to be as brief as I can on this. Growing up in Portland, kind of an isolated area up there, radio stations predominantly played, rock and the pop stuff, but they would eventually start bringing in a little James Brown and the Motown sound, and later on the Philadelphia sound. But as a kid going to school, very close environment, I had a friend of mine who wound up being in the band, Doug Lewis. We talked about him earlier. He lived right down the street from me. And so I think it was third grade. I was walking to school, and this guy ran out of the house. And he ran up to me and said, "Hey, I'm Doug." I said, "Hey, I'm Nate." So let's walk to school together. So that was the beginning of that.
Okay.
We became good friends. We became great friends. And, as we gelled and grew closer, we found that we both loved music. And so we wound up buying, not buying, but before that we made our own instruments. He made guitars. I would make a fake guitar, and we made drums out of boxes, and we would be in the garage performing and trying to emulate some of the things we heard on the radio. And so after a while, we decided that we needed some real instruments. So we all went to our parents and said, "Hey, can you help us? I want a guitar." So one Christmas, we all got guitars for Christmas. No basses, right? and one drum set. We got a little toy drum set. So we're all playing in the room in Doug's bedroom at his house. And God, we need a bass. So I went and asked my dad. I said, can I trade this in for a bass? And he got me a bass guitar. And that was the beginning of the bass, situation for me. Our group was a situation where we emulated everything we heard. We loved all kinds of music, and so we would just try to copy playing along with the record, just playing and trying to learn what we were hearing. And so that kind of evolved over the years as our ears progressed. It was still a process of emulation. And so that's pretty much my school of learning. I would just try to copy everything I heard on the records. I would put the needle on, try to grab a bass lick, pull it back if I didn't get it right. Eventually I would learn to play through the whole song. And so we're talking about all kinds of stuff, from pop to James Brown stuff to the Motown stuff. We were emulating everything. Jimi Hendrix, Buddy Miles, all that stuff. So my schooling kind of developed over that. And eventually, once we merged bands with Michael's band, the Soul Masters, Michael and Donald's band, the Soul Masters, they were the teachers for us. I mean, they taught us how to even listen more finely and more in tunely to what we were listening to be more articulate, to be more cerebral in our approach to playing. And so that all, it worked out great for us. So my school was learning to play to please those guys, and they were pretty rough. They made sure that we played the right things. You know, they weren't. These guys were students of music. I mean, these guys had degrees in music, and so that's where my school was. And then it evolved from there. Once I started doing sessions with other guys, it kind of evolved from there. So that's pretty much it for me.
Wow. Thank you both for that information. Thank you. So I would like to ask you to name the band crew that's updated today.
All right. Well, I'm going to give it a shot. So, of course, you have Nathaniel Phillips bass and myself on keyboards and vocals. Nathaniel also does do vocals. He fills out vocals as well. We have Mark Lomax, who is a very stalwart friend of Nate's over many years. And Mark is a producer in his own right as well. When Nate brought him into this production for this new album, Now Is the Time, he is just a phenomenal technician. He plays many different instruments. He is incredible at digital audio editing as well. And between he and Nate, they did a lot of technical audio stuff on the digital side for making this record sound the way it does. Nate mixed this record. Nathaniel has become an incredible producer in his own right. Of course, you know, I've been working as a young producer all the way into my now mature years. I was listed as a associate producer on the Future Now record back in 1979. But along with keys, I'm principally a arranger as well as a composer. We have Tiffany Wilson, who lives in Tacoma, Washington, very close to me. She is an extraordinary vocalist, and she's sharing lead vocals with the lead vocals that I've done. Brian Foxworth is our drummer. Bruce Carter, of course, has passed on. And it's phenomenal that Andy Stokes, Andy, are you still holding?
No, he had disappeared.
Okay, good. Okay, well, anyway, that he was related to the gentleman who called before the show started, who's a phenomenal vocalist. Andy is. But Brian is on drums and also helping out on vocals. His voice is one of the vocalists on For Your Pleasure, the very first song that you hear on the album. And he really does do a fantastic job as well, and a great drummer. He's responsible for how the composition For Your Pleasure came to be. And our original members, Dennis Springer on saxophone. Of course, Dennis has been a stalwart original member from the very beginning as well as Douglas Lewis, who we've talked about on guitar. Douglas, when Nate brought Douglas to the band in 1979, the first thing that they did was a song called Space is the Place that Doug is just phenomenal. The solo on that tune and the solo on another tune on the Special Things record called Law of the Raw are solos that are historic in terms of guitar lore, and but I believe that rounds out our core members. We had a number of side artists help us out with the record, but I think all of us, we represent the core of the band.
Right, yeah, right. I can understand that, and thank you for that information, both of you. I would like to ask either one of you, Michael or Nate, the website information. Do y'all have a website set up? And also the social sites that you're listed on, IG, Twitter, Facebook.
Yeah, we have a Facebook page that we just got underway here. still under construction, but there's still quite a bit of information about the band on there. It's called a Pleasure Band. Facebook. It's pretty easy to find. You'll see the logo of our latest release. Now's the time. That's a great point for identification. There's a lot of pleasure bands out there. We didn't realize that till we started trying to find a spot on here. But you can find us on Facebook as Pleasure Band. Instagram, it's called The Real Pleasure Band.
Okay.
Clearly.
Okay.
You know what,
okay.
Michael? I don't remember the Twitter. You remember the Twitter thing?
So we have a Twitter account, and I believe it is also called The Real Pleasure Band, I believe. You almost can't miss us once you look for either the Pleasure Band or the Real Pleasure Band. We haven't really used the Twitter account a whole lot, but if you connect, we actually have people who are assisting us with the new what I'll call the web presence, because linking all of these social platforms up is not an easy thing.
No, it isn't.
And I can tell, Brenda, you have a really impressive web presence. I love your graphic work. I love what you did with our graphic work. It's incredibly creative, what you did with all of our stuff, because you actually created things together from the different digital images we provided you, and it's really quite professional and nice looking. And we're going to have people copy that and run. No, that's Brenda. I'm just teasing you. But what you've done is really a great compliment to our presence on the web. You've made us look really nice with what you've done.
I love you guys.
We are the cats who've been making records, since way back in the day. So
I know
we're just catching up to the 21st century digital age with regards to our web presence. But Nate is right. In addition to the Pleasure Band Facebook address and site, and the Instagram, the Real Pleasure Band site, our webpage is www.pleasure, that's PLEASURE, records, RECORDS, as in the old time records.com. So it's www.pleasurerecords.com. That's our website. And there is information there. But if you really want to connect with us, interact with us, the Facebook page is the most active, and the Instagram page will definitely reach us, and we can get back to you that way as well. We understand Instagram, you correct me, Brenda, as more like taking a picture on my phone, and I'm going to say to people, hey, I'm over here enjoying some. Yeah, it's not really as much as Facebook as posting your ideas, your thoughts and questions and interacting. So, if you want to interact with the band, Pleasure Band at Facebook is probably your very, very most direct shot. But also, individual members do have their own Facebook pages. Brian Foxworth has his own page. Dennis Springer, our sax player, has his own page. I'm pretty sure Tiffany Wilson has her page. And Nathaniel has an incredible fan base on his Facebook page. I don't use my Facebook page a whole lot, but I do have a Facebook page. You can definitely hit me there. It's just Michael Hepburn, no frills, no anything like that, because like I said, I'm one of the old guys. So all this social media stuff is quite new to me, and I don't get on there and talk about how I feel today or what I'm going to do tomorrow. I just try to make it from day to day, Brenda, and write the music.
Right, that's right.
That's
thank
very
you
cool.
so much. Thank you both for the information. As this show is being recorded, you're getting ready to get blasted away with more networks and other social media. I will connect